So we've had a little bit of a meeting before the meeting, and I hit record for this workshop. This workshop is all about losing 20 pounds in 20 weeks, giving you pragmatic tips so that you can actually move forward in your weight loss journey. Hi, Fawn.
Hi, Becky. Sorry, a little bit late. We just finished dinner.
That's okay. No trouble. So Fawn, meet Melinda and Sue.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. Do you, can you guys see me or
I
no?
can't see you, no.
Okay, hold on.
No.
So we were talking about hello.
Hi.
So we were
Hi.
talking about controlling for the variables of weight loss, and I had said that so many people talk to me and they say I can't lose weight because my hormones are all screwed up, but they don't know what their hormone levels are. I can't lose weight because my metabolism is just naturally slow, but they don't know exactly what their metabolism is. And so my job as a health coach is to look at all of the variables in the weight loss equation so that I can help people move forward. So accounting for, so what I had started to say was doing a calorie study. That is one of the first things to do in terms of just honestly, what is your intake of food? So I have an example of one of my beloved clients. They were not counting, say, their alcohol intake. So they were counting everything else, but they weren't counting their alcohol intake. And it turned out to mess with the equation quite a bit. So does anyone have questions about what a calorie study is?
No?
Okay, so a calorie study is 3 to 5 days of just being really, really mindful about all of the calories that you drink. So sugar sweetened drinks, a lot of people don't consider that as part of their calorie count. Alcohol consumption, some people don't consider that part of their calorie count. And then obviously the food and the snacks and I've worked with clients that sort of had like while they were making dinner, they were sort of sampling everything as they were making dinner, and that added to quite a lot of calories. So in order to truly move forward and to account for the variables, it's helpful to do just an honest and thorough calorie count. So for 3 to 5 days, that's the first step. How many calories are you consuming? I'm going to send you it in the chat, if you please. Or you can do this directly. You can do this generally in the chat, and then you could do it directly chat to me. If people have signed in through Adult Ed, I don't necessarily have ready access to your email. So in order to send you videos, like I'm going to send you Why Diets Fail. That's a YouTube video that I made. In order to send that to your email, I just need you guys to put that in the chat so that I can send it to you. And I can send you other free resources as well. And I'll just transcribe it and then send it to you after the workshop. Okay, so what has worked and what has not worked in the past for you guys, for your diets?
One of
Um,
my problems is I'll do well like for 2 or 3 days or 4 days, but then there's like an event or a celebration or people going out to dinner, and
Mm-hmm.
then it just kind of falls apart.
Right. And so you, it's kind of on again, off again. So it sounds like you're lacking consistency.
Yes, on again, off again.
Yeah. And so one of the things that I work with is like the thoughts that happen. So it's a mind, body, soul approach. So I don't just talk about calories in, calories out. We're going to get into the many different layers that I help people. So there's a thought. So you might do well for 4 days, and maybe you overdo it because also a lot of people go from 0 to 60 where they're really, really restrictive because they might believe that certain foods are bad. They might abstain from whole food groups, for example, and then they have a point of stress, and then it like opens the floodgates. Is
Mhm.
that sounding familiar?
Yes. Yep.
Right. So that happens with a lot of people. Uh, and so that's one of the things that I work with people on as a health coach is to stop the black and white thinking about food. So unless you have a restriction with your doctor that, you can't eat certain things because you're on a diabetic diet or on a cardiac diet, the thing that I really try to work on is balanced eating as long as you're moving forward. Some people, they do have to do keto because they're not moving forward in any other way. But
Mhm.
one of the things that I'll teach you is no one thing is bad. No one food is bad. Is that sounding familiar to anybody? Like you just think of a food
Hmm.
group as bad? Yeah.
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 So I can't eat it because it's bad. Um, and so that's one of the things that I work with people on is like shifting the 0 to 60 or the black and white thinking around food to it's not bad and it's okay to reward yourself, but let's just do it in a way that's sustainable and moving you towards your goals. So what other challenges have you had with weight loss? I heard consistency and I heard thinking of one food as bad.
When I lost the majority of my weight, I was in Weight Watchers
Yep.
and they came to my work. So every week we would go and weigh in.
Mm-hmm.
And I also did TOPS, taking off pounds sensibly. So every week I would go and weigh in.
Yep.
And I seem to need to be held accountable to
Mm-hmm.
someone
Mm-hmm.
or something.
Yep.
So the fact that I'm not held accountable anymore is
Yep.
hard.
Hmm. Yeah.
Right. And that's what health coaching does is hold people accountable
Yeah.
on a weekly basis. Uh, and so just the simple mind trick of I need to report to somebody it tends to hold people accountable. So
Hmm.
you've identified, were you saying something, Melinda?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So the 0 to 60 isn't very helpful. Being inconsistent isn't very helpful. What is helpful is being held accountable in some way, shape, or form. You can do that with health coaching. You can do that with finding an accountability partner. So finding your friend or husband or spouse to hold you accountable. Um, but one thing that I want you guys to think of too is your why. Why are you wanting to lose weight?
Hmm.
Yep.
So for me, does anyone want to answer the question before I talk again?
I agree with that. Why? Because all the
Yeah.
thing like, I like to go to party, I like to drink, I like to eat, that all the thing like, make
Yes.
me gain weight. But then I have to go back to like why I want to lose weight. What
Yes.
is the point? Why? And then have to go back to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So your why is going to be really important in terms of actually achieving your success. For me, my why was pretty significant. I was almost obese at one point in my life, and I had chronic all day long back pain. And I knew as a nurse and working with physical therapists that in order to heal the back pain, it would be most helpful to lose some weight so that my spine wasn't having to carry so much weight all the time. So I had a sense of urgency to lose weight. My why also was I was watching how my kid was eating. He's now almost 13. So this was a few years ago now, like watching him eat. And he was eating out of emotion. He was stress eating. He was eating too much. And he was drone eating, where he would just eat like
Mhm.
while watching TV. So I watched my kid and how he was eating, and that was another indicator for me. I want to be a better role model for my kid.
Yeah.
So thinking about your why is going to be super helpful to keep you on track because it is hard. Losing weight is hard. That's the truth. So as you're moving along in this journey, just thinking about the why. So does anyone have any questions before I start throwing facts at you about weight loss?
No question.
Nope.
No?
No, I'm
Okay.
all set.
Okay. So in 1 pound of fat is about 3,500 calories. So no matter what diet you use, no matter what meal plan you use, in the end, you have to burn 3,500 calories more than you're taking in order to lose weight, fat weight, not just water weight or poop weight, for example. So in walking, I use the average calorie expenditure for walking a mile as like a unit of calorie expenditure. Walking 1 mile on average for an average sized person is about 100 calories. So the overwhelming majority of clients that I've worked with, and before I was a health coach, when I was a nurse, patients that I worked with, people were overestimating how many calories they
Mhm.
were burning in exercise, and they were underestimating how much they were eating. And there's a whole bunch of reasons for this. Our portion sizes in America have increased by like 4 times since the 1950s. So I tell people, don't go to a restaurant to learn how to eat. Don't go to a restaurant to learn about portion sizes because the overwhelming majority of restaurants are serving you like 3 to 5 times a serving size. So a natural question to this information might be, how many calories do you need to maintain a healthy weight? So it depends on how tall you are. It depends on your activity level. And so the number that I'm going to give you is really an average, and it's not going to serve every single one of you because you're going to be different sizes and different activity levels. But generally speaking, for a postmenopausal woman, so someone who's in their 50s, who's moderately active, so you're walking a couple miles per day, is about 1,600 calories. So this is obviously going to vary, as I said, depending on your size and also your activity level. The general rule of thumb is the younger you are, naturally, the faster metabolic rate you will have. The older you are, you're going to naturally have a slower metabolic rate. And so you can add calories to that if you're younger than, say, 50 years old, and take away calories from that if you're older and you're not as active. Generally speaking, men need more calories than women do to maintain a healthy weight because their muscle mass is generally higher than women. So their cells that are using up energy, they have more of them. Muscles use up more energy, muscle cells use up more energy than fat cells. And so hopefully that just taught you that as a woman who's either perimenopausal, menopausal, or postmenopausal, if you increase your muscle mass, that'll increase your calorie allotment per day. So hopefully that's what that just taught you. Any other questions before I move forward?
No.
No? Okay. So the ledger on paper, the weight loss equation, is simple in that you eat less and you move more. Where health coaching comes in is we address the human factors to weight loss. So what is your stress level? What is your sleep level? What is your social support? What is your understanding of basic nutrition? That's where health coaches come in. Many people don't know about portion sizes, like I said. There's a lot of people in America are super stressed out. They're going from one job to the next without taking a breath. A lot of people in America are not sleeping enough. So there's a correlation between lack of sleep and weight gain because it shifts your hormone levels. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So, all right. So I guess I'll talk about carbs, protein, fats, and alcohols per gram. Carbs give you 4 kilocalories of energy. Protein, 4 kilocalories of energy per gram. Fat, 9 kilocalories per gram. And alcohol is 7 kilocalories per gram. So you might think, based on that data alone, you might think that all I need to do is eat carbs because it's less than fat. But the human body processes carbs differently than fat and protein. When all you eat is carbs, you have fluctuations in your blood sugar. When your blood sugar spikes up, you might get a little bit of a dopamine hit. Like some people are addicted to sugar, for example. They get a dopamine hit, they feel really good. And then they crash, especially with simple carbs like sugar, like soda, and things like that. When you have that blood sugar crash, that's when you crave food. And that's where your hunger hormone ghrelin kicks in, and you're stimulated by your hormones to continue to eat more, or to eat more, to consume more calories. So it's really a good mixture of proteins, carbs, and fats that help stabilize your blood sugar so that you are not having the fluctuations in blood sugar, so that you're less likely to overeat. So people that have been overeating carbs for a really long time, having them go on keto for a short period of time does have the effect of stabilizing blood sugar. But you have to look at the whole picture. So the impact of stress on weight loss. If you experience a lot of stress, work stress, relationship stress, medical stress, maybe you have some medical concerns, maybe something's going on in your family, it is likely that your cortisol level is high. So your cortisol level is your stress hormone level, and that spikes your ghrelin level, which is your hunger hormone. So it directly impacts how hungry you feel. So one of the things that I work with clients on is, what is their stress level? Are they taking care of themselves? Are they sleeping enough to reduce their stress level? That was 3 pages of notes, and really I said that in a couple of sentences. So using a mind, body, soul approach to weight loss is most helpful, and it has the effect of sustainable, healthy, happy weight loss. When you look at the mind, body, soul, so not just calories in, calories out, but also what's my stress level? What's the activity and exercise that I like to do? What are the foods that I like to eat? Do I have people in my life that are going to hold me accountable? Do I have social supports in place? Am I sleeping enough? And even things like drinking enough water are going to help with happy, healthy, sustainable weight loss. because the water is absorbed by the food that's already in your stomach. It displaces the stomach. So that gives your brain the signal, my stomach is distended, I am full. And so you tend to consume less calories if you drink enough water. Any questions?
Well, what do they always are kind of changing like that. What's enough water? I mean, 8 glasses seems like a lot, in a day. What is your,
Yeah.
opinion on that?
Well, what I will say is, unless you have a cardiac condition or a kidney condition, 8 glasses of water is good.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want your urine to be clear amber color. See
Yeah.
through it. You want to be able to see through your urine.
Okay.
You also want your skin turgor to bounce back so that when you're pinching your skin on your arms, it bounces right back. That's
Okay.
it. That signifies your hydration level. So if it's tenting, if you pinch your skin on your arm and it tense up, it stays tented after you pinch it, that's a sign that you might be dehydrated.
Okay.
If you sweat easily on a hot day, that's a sign that you are hydrated. You have enough stores in your body to freely let go of water. So yeah, any other questions?
No?
Becky,
So
for me,
yeah,
I have a question about stress level. How we gonna find out that?
the stress level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So looking at all the things that you're doing in a day is helpful. So if you are on from the time you wake up until the time you go to sleep, you're going from task to task to task. Maybe you're taking care of kids, as I know you have kids. Maybe you're
Yeah.
taking care of the house. Maybe you're running your own business, like Fawn has a social media marketing business. So maybe you're going from one thing to the next to the next. You're not taking breaks in between. And slowly that has the impact of your nervous system to get like thrown out of whack so that so you have your nervous system, you have two branches of your nervous system, your sympathetic and your parasympathetic nervous system. People who are on all the time, their sympathetic nervous system is in charge, which means it's their fight or flight. So they're always on. They can't slow down. And that has the impact of increasing the cortisol, and that has the impact of increasing the ghrelin, which means that people tend to overeat if they're stressed.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's one way of dealing with stress is like looking at the tasks that you're doing per day and then factoring in buffer time. So I'm going to do this task and then I'm going to give myself 15 minutes before I do the next task because human factors are going to come into play. So, for example, with my coaching business, I do not schedule clients back to back to back. I give myself at least 15 minutes, if not a half an hour in between clients. Because a lot of times after the coaching session, I'll be doing some follow up with the client, or I'll be doing some research for the client so that I can get back to them. And then sometimes I just need to take a breather in between things. I need to go to the bathroom. I need to drink some water. For me, I do yoga. And so, I have a yoga mat right in my office. And so I'll do yoga in between things. But looking at buffering your time so that you're not going from one thing to the next. So that's one thing. Looking at your tasks, scheduling and buffer time, asking for help. So asking for help from the husband or the spouse or your friend group. If you're a leader in your job or you manage people, delegating tasks, getting things off your plate, So it frees you up so that you're slowing your brain down a little bit. Practicing meditation, I'm an advocate, as I said, for yoga and then also meditation. Does anyone know how to meditate? Or have you ever practiced meditation before?
No.
I
Uh,
I
a
did.
little.
I do it like before bed.
Okay, so what do you
Uh,
do before bed?
So when I lay down, I just close my eyes and then I turn the relaxing music on and then just close my eye and just
Yeah,
deep breath and that's
awesome.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And what effect does that have on your thoughts and your mind?
Well, sometimes it's make me go to a lot of places like crazy, but
Hmm.
some of the time I just really relax. So
Right.
maybe I'm not really know what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to.
Yeah. So sometimes what I heard you say is sometimes your mind goes everywhere. Is that right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
The thinking of things like here and there, like
Yeah.
yeah, to see like up here. There's like a lot going
Yeah.
on.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes it has a calming effect on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So either way, it doesn't mean good or bad, or you failed with one scenario and you succeeded in another scenario. If your mind is going everywhere when you first start to meditate, it's fine. The point of meditation is not to have an empty mind. The point of meditation is to become aware of the thoughts so that you can slowly let them go, so that your mind does eventually learn how to let stuff go and relax. But what's most helpful when I do meditation, honestly, like when I force myself to stop during the day, I've had a busy day and I force myself to stop and I force myself to just do even 3 minutes of meditation. That really gives me feedback about how fast my mind is going. So that's the first step with anything is awareness. So I become really aware of how fast my mind is going, how many thoughts I'm holding in my mind, so I can start to let it go. Um, and so for me, because I tend to have a hi,
Say hi.
Hi.
is that Jora?
There's Jaren. I have
Jaren.
a Pope.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Jaren. Welcome. You're wicked strong. Are you the
Okay, Mom.
hope?
Okay, bye-bye. Mommy. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. No problem.
And milk.
Mom.
That's okay. Um, and so I don't like to sit. I have a hard time with sitting and meditating, honestly, if I'm being truly honest. And so what helps me through that is the yoga. The yoga connects my mind, heart, and soul together and into my body so that I naturally start to slow down. In practicing slow flow yoga, like yin yoga, that helps me to slow my mind down and helps me to meditate for longer. So if you have a hard time sitting still, practice some yoga, practice some stretching, to sort of like release some of that energy in your body. So some pointers on meditation are take a deep breath in and let it out, in through your nose and let it out through your mouth, and focusing on that for even 3 minutes. Even doing that for 3 minutes has been demonstrated to help with anxiety and stress. There are other ways of meditation too, like practicing mindfulness. Like I am in my office right now. My left foot is on the floor, touching the floor. My right foot is over my left foot. They're crisscross. I am holding my fingers together. I am mindful of my butt in the seat, just practicing where you are in time and space. That's also a good way of grounding yourself to reduce anxiety and stress and things like that. Another example of meditation is the mantra meditation. So for me, I say thank you over and over again. I breathe in, thank you. I breathe out, thank you. And the more times I say thank you, the more reasons I have to say thank you. It subconsciously makes my brain attached to what I have in my life versus what I don't have in my life. And that calms me down a whole lot. Any other questions about stress management? So yoga, good stress reliever, meditation, looking at your tasks, incorporating buffer time, delegating tasks, exercise. So one of my mental health um, maintenance things that I do is I go running a couple times per week, and then I'll do strength training on the other days per week. But for my mental health, I'll go running to release that energy. So does anyone else have any questions about stress management? Do you have any other questions about the data of losing weight, the numbers for losing weight?
No.
So you're basically saying just a good balance of carbs and protein and fat. A
Yes,
good, okay.
yes. And so that balance, if you don't have any medical conditions, so I don't know anybody's here, I don't know a lot of your past medical history, so I can't be very specific in terms of the combination of fat, carbs, and protein. But the long and the short of it is, unless you have a medical condition, do what works for you and what is giving you results. So most people are almost like dumbfounded when I say that, but that is my job as a health coach, is to help you find out what works for you. And so you might not know what works for you, in which case, right. So in which case that's beneficial to get a health coach on board to help identify what works for you. So I don't have a cookie cutter program. I have an individualized health coaching program, and I'm getting ready to launch a group coaching program in a couple of months. So what I'll do is, now I have everyone's emails. I'm going to send out some resources. So I'm going to send out some free videos. I have a YouTube channel, Health Transformers Maine. I'm going to send out some videos to help address the majority of the reasons why people are struggling with weight loss, some pointers to get you started. And then if you want to, if you want to work further with me, you can either work with me exclusively one-on-one in a health coaching program or in a group coaching program that I'm going to be launching in a couple of months. So what other questions or concerns can I answer?
I think I'm good.
You're good? Okay. Do you guys
me too.
feel, go ahead, Melinda,
No,
what?
I'm good too.
Yep.
Do you feel like so tell me, what have you come away from this workshop with? Have you come away with some knowledge about how to lose weight?
I came away with learning how to deal with my stress better. and the fact that I should probably drink water.
Mm, yeah. Any other takeaways?
I think
Um,
I agree with her about the stress that that helpful. Yeah.
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 and so you said to keep the calories for 4 to 5 days.
Hmm.
Um, 3 to 5 days of calorie count. Um, I mean, some people, do it every single day. But you don't think that's necessary.
Oh, for the calorie study,
Yes.
that is to get a baseline of what you're
Okay.
consuming for calories.
Okay. But you just 3 to 5 days to get a baseline.
Yep, for your calorie, like for an average, if you
Okay.
pay attention for 3 to 5 days of everything that you're eating that has
Right.
calories in it,
Yeah.
and then average it over those 3 to 5 days, that'll tell you in general um, what you're consuming for calories. And it's going to be helpful, and a lot of times it's eye-opening because I worked with one client. She was postmenopausal. She truly believed that she just had a slow metabolism. I had
Hmm.
I had her really pay attention to what she was consuming, and once she became really mindful about what she was consuming, she was blown away by how many calories she was consuming. It's really, really easy in America to
Oh, yeah.
consume a lot of calories. It's really easy because our
Okay.
serving size. Yeah, go ahead.
I guess, yeah, like my daughter's lost some weight, and she keeps track of her calories every single day. But you're saying it's more just to get kind of a baseline, and then if you eat similar almost every day, it's going to be about the same calories.
So if counting calories works for you,
Hmm.
yes. If looking at portion sizes and eating off of a smaller plate works for you, then do that. But the effect is still the same. You're still reducing your calorie load.
Yeah.
Is that clear? Is my answer clear?
Yes. Yes. Yep.
So however I can get the client to wrap their head around consuming less food, either
Hmm.
it's counting calories or it's reducing portion sizes, which is the same thing as counting calories.
Right.
It's just doing it visually. And some people, that's just how they understand the information. They look at visually, like this plate right here.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Eating off of a smaller plate works for some people because they can just understand that conceptually. And for some people, it's counting the calories and they understand that conceptually. So it's however the person understands the concept.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. So that's it for right now. I will be sending you guys some follow-up emails and inviting you to a consultation call to further work with me and answer any questions that you might have about health coaching. Health coaching, 60% of the people that work with health coaches, they keep their weight off after a year if they've worked with a health coach versus not worked with a health coach. So it tends to be pretty effective in terms of healthy, happy, sustainable weight loss. So that's what I'll say about that. All right. So that's it for now. I'm going to sign off.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank you,
you.
Becky.
Yeah. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.